welcome to Long Beach, California. We're here for day number 2 of the esports stage here at TwitchCon 2017. My name is Bill Jump Carter, your resident Sherpa, here to help guide you throughout all of the action that you will see today. Yesterday we had 4 different titles taking the stage of all sorts of competitiveness. We had Hearthstone, we had Lawbreakers, you had Lineage 2 Revolution over on the booth, you had Power Rangers Legacy Wars on mobile to round out the day. But today, we're gonna change things a little up. As you can see, it's definitely gonna be a little bit more of a comical setup, but we definitely are gonna still have all the action. It is gonna be Shadowverse Streamer Showdown. And before we kick things out, we are going to introduce the teams that are playing on stage. First up, we're going to have Team A. It's gonna be Brian Kimbler, Tice, and Jay Wong. They might have gotten eaten by the ultimate carrot, so we might have to wait on them for a second. I think he actually did, so we're gonna go ahead and introduce the ultimate carrot himself, coming to help us lead out on some fun stuff for the day. There he is. You're not eating me, it's not happening. How are we doing today? We doing good? Yeah! So, the ultimate carrot is gonna be helping us in some awesome stuff that we have planned for you. As you can see, we've got a very great wheel, including the carrot itself that we'll explain as a little later. But it's going to be all of these different challenges. And so we're going to have 6 different matches between the different players. Everyone is going to get a chance to play each other once of the opposite teams. And before each of the matches, they are going to get this awesome opportunity to spin the wheel and find out which of the sabotages, which of the tortures they have to go with. And so we're going to kick it over to the casters to say hello and introduce themselves before the first match.
Hello, hello. My name is Justin Exodium Carter, and I'll be your main caster for today. And right now, I'm joined by Eloise, the first member of Team Raynan. So for those of you out there who don't know Eloise, go and say hi.
Hello, I am Eloise. I play Hearthstone for Temple Storm. Yes, so I am part of Team Raynan.
Perfect. And are you excited today? What's your background with Shadowverse? Have you played it at all? What are you looking forward to today?
I actually played Shadowverse for a whole year.
Oh.
Yeah, like, I didn't even realize because I play Shadowverse like 1 hour or 2 hours a day. Like when I don't have Hearthstone tournament, I actually play a lot of Shadowverse. And wow, and it's actually 1 year. I didn't realize, and time flies so fast.
Perfect, perfect.
Yeah.
So I gotta let everybody know. So everybody on both teams actually got pre-built decks, but Eloise went backstage and before the show started, decided to change the decks to decks she wanted to play. What was your decision making as a part of that process? Why did you want to switch up your decks for today?
Oh, because my English is not very good. So generally, I switched some cards that I don't understand the description.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
perfect. So this it'll make it feel better for you.
Also, I switched in some cards that looks very good. You know, Shadowverse is a game that looks very anime, and there's a lot of kawaii girls. So generally, I switched some kawaii girl into my
Perfect.
decks.
Thank you very much, Eloise. We're going to kick it back on stage to Jump so we can introduce both of our teams here.
That's right, we're back on with the carrot, and I know that you're eyeing this, you're wanting to see it. So we're gonna go ahead and give you that opportunity. We're gonna introduce the first match. Player number 1 representing Team A, it is going to be Brian Kimbler. Coming on stage to say hello. There he is. So now we get to find out which torture he has to suffer. Carrot, can you do the honors? What do we have? What do we have? It is the toilet goggles. So the toilet goggles that Kimbler is gonna have to deal with is a custom duct tape made toilet roll paper goggles that he has to play the match in. And so we're going to introduce the Wizardess of Oz to come present his lovely, I think it is behind you, behind you, behind you. So there's the toilet goggles for him. You can go ahead and take your seat and enjoy that. She's gone. It's okay. She's gone. She's gone. It's okay. Number 2, representing his team as team captain, it is going to be Reynad coming out on stage. There he is indeed, and Carrot, you can do the honors again. Spin the wheel of torture, the misfortune, and, uh-oh, no. You're gonna love this one. Socks, socks, socks. So, we're gonna have our Wizard of Savage come out and show what it is. Every turn, she is going to be putting on tube socks on each of your hands, layered by layer, as you continue to play the game. Probably don't wanna do a long game. Probably won't be the best for you. So you can go ahead and take your seats and get yourself ready. Carrot, I think our time is done for now. We're gonna throw it back over to the casters to get game 1 started.
All right, Eloise, so we see what the wheel has chosen for both of our players here. What do you think is gonna be the biggest distraction? Do you think the goggles? Do you think the socks?
Oh, I think Reynad is definitely going to enjoy his socks. Especially, I heard that his chat always talk about he has a thing for Asian kawaii girls. So
okay.
I think he will most likely enjoy to be put on socks by the kawaii girls.
So
yes.
it kind of helps that he's going to have that warm, fuzzy feeling, especially with Wizard of Savage.
I'm pretty sure he's going to rope out every turn.
Oh, I see. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, so for our first match, of course, we have Reynad versus Kibler. And they have a choice between 2 of their decks. As soon as we load up, we'll know exactly which decks they're playing. Who do you think has the advantage in just card game skill? I know you're a friend of Reynad's, you're on Reynad's team, but...
Can we say it privately?
Yeah. Whisper.
I vote for Kibler.
Ooh, okay. Yeah. All right, so publicly, Reynad all the way.
Yeah,
Team
Reynad,
Storm.
definitely.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I am actually a longtime Magic player. I've known Kibler for a long time. I have to give it to Kibler because he's an awesome man. He's a Hall of Famer in Magic, and I can't wait to see how he plays a game with goggles on his face. I feel like it might not be a hindrance if he kind of cheats. You see how his eyes kind of under the tubes there? Yeah, we don't know if that's a hindrance. We might have to get that fixed.
Exactly.
Interesting. All right, so just to go over very quickly what decks they do have to choose from, Kibler has access to a mid-rune deck, or what we like to affectionately call it as Dirt Rune, because it uses Earthright as a mechanic, where it puts sigils into play, and then it uses characters to then sacrifice those sigils to gain extra benefits. He also has a mid-shadow deck, which is a board control-centric deck that has really powerful endgame options. And then Reynad has Control Haven, so very kind of late-game deck, control-y deck. I'm sure he'll feel right at home with that. And he's got a combo shadow deck, where it's trying to put a big follower into play on the very early stages of the turns to try to overwhelm his opponent.
I'm very surprised that Kibler didn't take Dragoncraft because he is actually very famous for playing Dragon in Hearthstone.
Absolutely, he is Mr. Dragon. And Eloise, why don't you tell everybody why he didn't get to play Dragon today?
Oh, of course, because Dragon is the best deck, and I always pick the best deck.
So part of your strategy to essentially neuter the other team. Brian Kibler being the captain of the other team, you take his deck, maybe they don't have a good chance to win anymore.
But it's also possible that I took what Reynad want to choose. Ooh. Oh, oops.
Not let him know. Okay, so we're getting settled in here, guys. I want to see these socks every single turn on Reynad's hands. I can't wait. Under these lights, the sweat, I think, might be worse than the socks themselves. Also, imagine if somebody else rolls the socks and they have to put them on next. Could you play with socks? Some sweaty socks on your arms?
I don't really have that kind of interest. I'm not Reynad, you know.
Okay, fair enough. All right, here we go. Reynad getting suited up for game 1. Has the socks on hand, ready to go. Perfect. Kibler's already suited up with his goggles. Pretty soon here, we'll get to see what decks they've chosen to play. Kibler looks very ready. We fixed his goggles, it looks like. All right, so what are you expecting to see here?
I think Reynad will go for the deck that he thinks it's easier.
Okay.
Yeah, like the Heaven deck look more straightforward.
Just to
His
get
other
started.
deck is Combo Shadowcraft. Combo Shadowcraft, yeah, you see, like exactly as what I expected. Yeah.
Perfect. So we get to see Kibler on mid Shadow, and we get to see Reynad on his Control Haven deck. Let's open up to the mulligans. And Eloise, you said you've been playing Shadowcraft for about a year. Talk to us about these mulligans right now.
Oh, so generally, Shadowverse is a game that curve is very, very important. For example, if you don't have anything to play on turn 2, for example, this is turn 2, and Kibler has a 2-drop, 2-mana 2/2 to play. This is very, very good.
I will liberate.
Perfect. And how Shadowverse works is you go up by 1 play point every single turn. So maximizing those play points, like you said, every single turn comes into play very, very
Yes.
much so.
So especially like what Kibler is playing this deck, if he has 1, 2, 3, 4, this kind of curve out, he can get very good tempo advantage in early game.
Perfect, perfect. And just to get a little bit more in-depth with the draws here, we see Kibler not having the perfect of draws, the most perfect of draws, but has a good curve. Reynad, on the other hand, has an amulet that will pop out 2 followers in 3 more turns, but it'll be a little while till those come out. So kind of going to be on the defensive, as a control deck should be. So what do you think Reynad is aiming to do here? Because Kibler has started off pretty fast here, what is he looking to do?
I think Reynad has some very good removal spells in hand. For example, that Black Hand
Black and Scripture.
Scripture, yes. What does this card do?
So for 2 play points, you can target any enemy follower with 3 defense or less, and it will banish it from the game. Why that's important specifically for this matchup is because if you banish a follower, it does not give that player a shadow. And let's get into shadows real quick. Do you know about shadows and how it works with Shadowcraft?
Oh, so I heard that whenever you have a minion died or whenever you use a spell, you get 1 shadow. And shadow is a very, very important resource for Shadowcraft.
Exactly. And the reason why that's important is if we can take a look at something like Death's Breath in hand or Demon Lord Ektar, they have effects that have Necromancy. And Necromancy means I will use up that many shadows in order to gain an extra benefit on cards. So for instance, Death's Breath will put 3 2/2s into play for 6 play points, which is very good value. But if you use 6 Necromancy, you will also get +0, +1, and Ward on all of those followers. Ward meaning your opponent has to attack that first before it can actually attack you as your leader.
Yeah, and also Shadowcraft, which is what Kibler is playing, this cute little lolly character. She also can suicide his own minion to get some effect, like what he just did now. He drew 2 cards by killing his own minion.
That's right. And Reynad actually taking huge advantage out of one of the early game combos in the deck with Princess Snow White, which, when it dies, will come back evolved. Evolved meaning it will get usually plus stats and the ability to attack an enemy follower the turn it evolves. Uses it with the Heavenly Hound, which gets +0, +2 if you already have an evolved follower, so making very good use out of his cards here.
Yeah, evolve synergy is the thing I like most about Shadowcraft, because whenever you evolve a minion, it gets +2/+2, and you can get charge instantly on this turn. And besides, what's more is that it gets a new artwork. Like for example, those waifus will become prettier waifu. Yeah, this is the thing I like
Exactly,
most.
yes. That is
Yeah.
one thing about this game that if you like anime, if you like waifus, this is a game for you. Very pretty animations and very pretty waifus, as Eloise eloquently said.
I play a lot of Shadowverse mainly because of the artwork. Yeah.
Perfect, perfect. That's actually what drew me into the game at first as well. Very pretty game. All right, so Reynad's on the offensive here. He's going to decide whether he wants to push as much face damage as he can, or if he wants to try to neglect some of the board of Kibler here. Basically, erase some of what he can do, maybe so that he can't set up for following turns. So if you're Reynad right now, what are you doing?
I think Reynad basically can do everything he wants because he is on huge advantage right now. When Heavencraft gets the board, you know that you will be in some kind of trouble because this deck is a very strong late game deck. it has a very strong finisher, a 9-mana legendary.
Yes, yes it does. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it's not quite present in this deck. This is a different control deck, but the card you're talking about, Aegis, 9-play.88, that basically can't die leave the board. In this game, there's actually a combo endgame in that Tarnished Grail that we see in the hand for Reynad. If that dies, he gets 3 awesomely super powerful spells that can then end the game in quick order. All right, so Kibler making use of those shadows like we were talking about, putting out 3 wards with 1 card. Very good value here. But of course, as you said, Reynad is in a very commanding position right now, being in the end game, having a big board.
When you still can't kill Heavencrafter on turn 6, then it means that something bad will happen. Yeah.
Yeah, usually their big endgame spells start to hit the board. Now we're gonna have to wait. In Reynad's hand, he doesn't really have any plays that he can make early, so he's gonna have to wait a little bit on that. He's gotta play on turn 7, maybe on turn 8. And we're really looking for Kibler to start pushing his advantage on the next turn. He's got Ektar for next turn to push damage and maybe even come back on board. And he's got Saris for defensive options. He's got Little Soul Squasher for defensive options. Little Soul Squasher being another way to use Necromancy, a 2-play.22. Very efficient, but can also use Necromancy 4 to kill an evolved follower straight away.
Whoa, straight out to the face. That's the Reynad I know. Oh, yeah.
Perfect. Giving Tempo Storm its name.
But looks like Kibler still have the chance to come back, right?
Of course.
So Shadowcraft is pretty good at coming back the board.
Yes.
As we all know, he has a lot of good AoE and some very good single target removal, even though Kibler haven't drawn them yet.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But he can make use out of the cards we talked about. Little Soul Squasher, as you saw, killing that Tin Soldier immediately. Has an option to play Saris, and Saris is a 1/4 that will help him gain life over time. Okay, opts to go for filling the board up, possibly for a big Ektar turn next turn. I like this play a lot.
Yeah.
All right, Eloise, this is the turning point in the game. Have you seen Ektar before? You know what it does.
Nektar.
Ektar, yeah, so it's 7-play.56. When it comes into play, we'll give all of your other followers +2/+0 and rush. So basically just a big overrun type of effect. And if you have 8 Necromancy, it will actually put 2 2/2s into play for you immediately. That will also gain that effect. Of course, here we see he's got a full board, so it is very scary.
Oh, yeah, I remember I've been lost by this card. Yeah, my opponent played this card and I lose that game. Yeah,
yeah,
I remember
that's typically what it can do. Yes,
that's how I learned the game.
It is the big game ender. It's actually one of the reasons why people have been playing mid-Shadow for a very long time, or any Shadow variant, is because of that card very specifically. It's a very potent tool.
I'm very surprised Kibler didn't evolve a minion to kill the 4/2 last turn.
That's true. Maybe he just realized that there's no extra damage that Heavy can really deal, right? They don't have any Storm followers, Storm being followers that when they come into play can attack the enemy leader immediately. So basically just saying, you know what, bring it. I'm the offensive player, you can't kill me, let's go.
Whoa, I like this.
All right, let's see what Kibler can make do on this turn. Like
Kibler need a lot of stuff to come back.
Yes.
Yeah. I feel like he should start by drawing card with the Soul Convert.
Soul Conversion is a great first option because it will open the board up for him to be able to play Demon Lord Ektar. One of the cool things about this game, and actually you have to think about it, in deck construction while you're playing, you only get 5 spots to play cards in this game. So you have to make very good decisions on what you actually want to put into play and how you want to use your board most effectively.
Actually, Kibler can try to clear the board with the Evolve points this turn, right?
He can. He can also, again, he can play the Ektar to clear the entire board while pushing damage. It really just depends on how much damage he wants to deal this turn and how controlling he wants to be. Of course, he's at 3 health, so he's going to need to be able to clear most of these followers off the field here.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. The big bad boy of Shadow, Ektar, seeing play.
Wow.
That's right. Now we get to see how potent this card is. Clear the board, push for extra face damage, and now this puts him in the lead. But as you said, we're getting to the end game with Haven. So the longer this game goes, the more of an edge Reynad will have.
So does Kibler play the 8 play point Death Rattle in his deck?
So he's in a tough spot here, right? So he has the choice between just wrathing the board with the Themis' Decree that will destroy all followers in play. That's a good choice because he does have the Tribunal popping next turn, which will kill another follower, so kind of give him some tempo in order to play maybe a late game card, such as that Tarnished Grail. If he does play the Tarnished Grail now, he'll be taking a gamble because it will deal 2 damage to all followers in play, but it will not kill the Ektar. So that 5 damage will remain in play, possibly 7 with an evolution.
What does the 7 point legendary do? It's the new card for this new expansion, right?
Absolutely. Very new card. It is Zodiac Demon. 7 play point 5/5. When it comes into play, you can take a follower from your hand, discard it, and it will deal its damage in power equal to an enemy follower. The reason why it's in that deck is because there is a card called Heresy's Avatar also in the deck, and when that dies, it allows for every amulet that you play after it to pop instantly. So those Tribunals and Beast Call Arias and things that you've seen stay in play for a long time and count down will all pop instantly and have their effects.
Wow.
Couple that with Tarnished Grail, it will pop and give you all of your endgame options immediately.
So basically, Kibler has to clear everything from Reynard from now on, because Reynard still have one evolve point left.
Correct.
So he can evolve his minion to deal this 3 damage to Kibler's face.
Now, the funny thing is that Snow White is one of the only followers in the game, as tiny as she is, does not grow by 2 power when she gets evolved. So only 2 power coming from her. So actually, Kibler has this turn to kind of make up his mind. This is the turn right here.
When you kill the Snow White, she will come back to the board again. So it's very annoying.
Absolutely. We'll come back as a 2/2, again, evolved how the combo worked earlier with the Heavenly. Perfect. All right, so we see Reynad drawing half of his combo here, not drawing the Heresy's Avatar just quite yet, but again, in a commanding position. He's not afraid for his life total at all, and he can just, oh, and there we go. We see the Tin Soldier coming out to finish off the job past the wards. How do you feel about that game?
Of course, Reynad is the best. Sponsored a message.
Of course, yes.
Reynad is the best.
Team Tempo Storm takes the first game. Team Reynad, good job, Reynad. That was a perfect way to end the game. Showed how Controlled's supposed to be played.
Reynad is trying his best not to smile very too exaggerate.
He's like, yeah, I'm pretty good. This is what I do. He plays card games. Apparently, the socks were not that big of a hindrance.
Yeah.
All right, and we're going to kick it back to the stage so that we can introduce our next match.
That's right. We're actually first going to do a nice little quick interview with Reynad, just so we can see how that sock went out. So let's bring Reynad back to the stage real quick, just so we can talk to him about the socks. It definitely seemed like it was something a little different. Reynad, are we back there? Hopefully. Possibly. Maybe. There he is. There he is. So, so you guys win the first match. How was the sock layering? How did that work out for you?
You know, we are in a pretty packed convention center, a lot of big, wide open areas. It's a little bit chilly. I felt like it was helpful.
Now, as the sock layers got thicker and thicker, how much did that actually restrict the mouse movements? You know, coming into it.
Not too much. I mean, I honestly only took damage like 1 time that game, so I just had the 1 layer to deal with, and it was not too tough.
Made things definitely a whole lot easier. Well, that's it for us. We'll go ahead and let you back, and we are going to introduce our next set, and we are going to bring them on stage in just a second. We need to first introduce our lovely little killer, our ultimate carrot. Let's see if we can get him back. Is he there? He is. He's back. I'm running around this way. Nope. He's here, and we're going to bring out our next 2. First up, it's going to be Tice, representing Team A. There he is. Saw him yesterday, gonna see him again today, and let's find out what his torture is going to be. The Wheel of Misfortune. Carrot, give it a whirl. We all know that Carrot wants his own. Is it gonna? It's not. So, we have ended up picking the Mouse Massage. This is a team effort torture. Mouse pads do not exist anymore. He now must use one of his teammates as a mouse pad, whether that be their arm, they're back. Regardless of what it is, that's his mouse pad for the match. So we're gonna go ahead and send you over to your seat, bring you out a teammate for the match, and it is going to now be Hafu coming out for Team B. All right, let's find out what the next torture is going to be. Mr. Carrot, give it a whirl. And the spins, and the spins, and a revisit of the socks. Socks, socks, socks. For those of you that did not watch the last match, it is going to be every time that she takes damage, she's gonna have to put on layers upon layers of those tube socks. And you can see the Wizard of Oz bringing them out for it. And we're gonna allow you now to take your seat as well and get things started for match number 2. We've got a little bit of a switch up on the caster desk. Exodium, who do you have with you today?
All right, Kibler, welcome to the stage here. How was the match? Tell me how you felt.
Honestly, the toilet goggles were really distracting.
Okay, so
I was trying to follow
think it was going to be that bad.
I didn't either, and then when they were actually like obscuring my vision, and I'm trying to figure out everything, because I mostly play Take-Two when I play Shadowverse, so I'm not like as familiar with some of the cards that Reina was playing. I'm like, okay, wait, what was that again?
Right, what does that do?
And yeah, with the toilet rolls in the way, it was harder to tell what was going on than I thought it would be.
So you're like clicking on the cards, you're trying to read what they do, and you're just like, I still don't know.
Yeah,
I can't see
yeah.
it.
I was
Perfect.
like, wait. I mean, at the end, I was like, oh yeah, that kills me, right? That thing that comes up, that thing that was already, oh, I'm dead. Oh, oops.
Wards, they don't do anything. Perfect. All right, so one down on your team. How are you feeling for the rest of the match here?
I mean, Tice is a very strong competitor. I feel like he, has what it takes to carry this match.
Awesome, awesome. And Tice, of course, for those of you who don't know, a very prominent Hearthstone player, very good, tournament-winning player, awesome dude. I met him actually last night at dinner with all of you guys. Super nice guy as well. Perfect. So let's talk about the decks that they have going into this. So Tice has the choice between a mid-range blood deck, so more of like a, I'm going to control the board like your Shadow deck, and a combo forest deck that he can kind of bring out. And that's the toughest deck in the game to play. And then he's going to be playing against Hafu again, either aggro blood or combo rune. Combo rune beating this, I'm going to wait until the end of the game to play this crazy combo.
I do want to say right now, I'm glad I'm up here casting and not as Tice's mouse pad like J-Wong is right now.
Justin Wong, perfect. Justin Wong is actually acting as a mouse pad right now for Tice. This is perfect.
It's fortuitous for me that this is the round that I'm up here to cast and not potentially be
your back is not the mouse
as a
pad.
convenient surface.
Yes, absolutely. All right, so as in the match, so who do you think, again, you said Tice has the edge for your team. Do you think that Hafu's got anything up her sleeve that can help her win this match? She's a good card player, too.
Oh, Hafu's a fantastic player herself. I do think that if Tice ends up playing the combo deck, it's potentially the aggro blood deck can just rush him down before he gets things going.
Absolutely, and I feel like it's the same the other way around. If Hafu takes her combo deck, we've got a mid-range / deck that could be aggro against it.
Yeah, so we may see a little bit of, a mind game. So, oh, what are you going to pick? What do I think I should pick as a result? It's the Princess Bride, I can't pick the one in front of you.
Exactly.
I made a reference to that in the broadcast like a year ago, and the person I was casting with was too young to have ever seen The Princess Bride. It made me feel really old.
You know what? I can imagine that. The Princess Bride, a staple movie.
It is.
Classic
it really
for people of our generation. So yes, that makes a lot of sense.
Also, Princess Buttercup is now, the First Lady of the United States. Not in the real world.
Right, not in the real world, of course. Yes, absolutely. All right, so let's get into the game here. We're kicking it off. Let's see what decks they chose to bring. Both brought their blood decks, so we actually get to see a Vengeance blood deck or a mid-range blood deck versus an aggro blood deck.
Blood is actually the class I played the most these days. I really enjoy the Vengeance mechanic and trying to maneuver okay, I want to put myself in range of Vengeance, but not quite to the point that you can kill me. And I think that's actually going to be something we see in this game, because obviously Tice is going to be trying to use his Vengeance cards, but needs to avoid just being low enough that Hafu's aggro deck can just kill him.
Absolutely. So there are cards that will actually deal you damage in the Vengeance blood deck so that it can work with the mechanic very well, the Vengeance mechanic. Like you said, will it, right now, play 1/4, take some damage for it. Throughout the course of the game, if Tice isn't too careful, putting himself to, like you said, will be at an extreme disadvantage to an aggro deck.
It's also true, though, that when you're playing an aggressive deck, they're naturally going to want to try to deal damage.
Exactly.
So they're kind of playing into your strategy by beating you down, and you're like, oh, thanks, now all my vengeance stuff is active.
Exactly. Maybe I don't even need to play anything. I can just sit here, wait for you to attack me, and then just kind of unload all of my value cards once I get there.
I mean, there are obviously the tools like the demonic ram that we see in the hand right now that can help mitigate some of that self-damage as well.
Absolutely. And for those of you who don't know, demonic ram is a 2-play point 2/2. When it is in play, all cards that would deal damage to you also then heal you for 2. So great effect in the Vengeance Blood deck.
And these early high health Warden minions are really helping stall the board against the smaller minions coming in the play from the other side.
Absolutely. Hafu trying to swarm the board, but of course not very effective against the 1/4 wards that Tice has here. Is basically just going to be looking to wait for those Evo turns, build up as big a board as she can, and then just try to force through as much damage as she can.
So what are the key cards that each of the players are looking for right now?
Sure. So Hafu at the moment is really just looking. She has what she needs for the mid-game. She's got her 4-drops. She's got her Evo targets in the Venom Fang Medusas that will then create bigger boards. They summon 1/1s, evolve, summon more 1/1s, and then really just look to burn her opponent out after that. Maybe some Storm Followers, maybe some Burn, just finish things up. Tice, what he's looking for is things like Diabolic Drain, Demonic Ram, the things that we see in his hand to kind of keep him in the game, keep him healthy. All right, so here we go. Evolution mechanic, let's talk about that for a second. Venom Fang Medusa, perfect card to do that. Will summon a 1/1, she comes into play. If she gets evolved, we'll also summon another 1/1, as well as getting the stats, as well as being able to attack an enemy follower the turn she's played.
Yeah, the evolve mechanic is actually probably my favorite thing about Shadowverse. I think it's a super cool mechanic that gives you this persistent game-long resource that you need to manage. Not only do you have to figure out what you're doing with your cards and your play points from turn to turn, but figure out what the key turns that you need to have your evolves available on and what particular cards you want to evolve depending on the matchup.
Absolutely, and that being very important because you only get so many during a game.
Right.
The cool mechanic about it, the thing that I like about it the most is the person on the draw gets more and they activate first. So if you get behind, it is a nice comeback mechanic.
That makes me always want to go second. I'm like, oh, I just want to evolve more. I want to do all the cool stuff with my cards more.
Exactly. If you're on the play, you have the advantage naturally because you get to play your cards first. But in this game, you get an advantage for being on the draw as well. Absolutely. All right, so Tice, getting to his game here, I feel like he still should be playing a little defensive. He doesn't really have the cards in hand to kind of push a ton of damage. So I feel like board control is his best option here, especially against a deck like this.
It's just, Jaewon just looks so sad there. He's just sitting there, his arm is on the table, and Tice is just casually maneuvering his mouse over him.
I think Justin Wong is actually very intent on this match. Like, he's looking at it.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
I want to win this. He's like, mouse pad, whatever, teammate, let's go.
A little bit of a laugh there.
Perfect. All right, so making a really tough decision here, deciding what he could do. Go ahead, Justin Wong. Coach him. Tell him what he needs to do.
I feel like I could have probably used some coaching in that last game. I feel like I could have done things a little bit better.
Yeah.
Like maybe not just, maybe played one of the guys that gave me, some extra defense instead of just dying that.
Exactly.
Maybe that would have been a better decision.
Just dying is never
minor detail. But yeah, like I said, the toilet goggles, they obscured my ability to count onboard lethal.
Awesome. All right, so he kind of goes with a half and half route. Pushes a little bit of damage, clears a little bit of the board, maybe kind of enticing Hafu to push him into vengeance.
Enticing Hafu? Oh.
Yes. Perfect. All right, so this turn, I really feel like Hafu is just going to push as hard as she can. She might play another Venom Fang Medusa here to fill up the board. She might go a little wide with...
Oh, we see the more socks going on the arms here. Reynad helping out.
So Reynad, I think, last match didn't actually get any extra layers.
Well, I never damaged him. He just beat the hell out of me.
That's true.
He never had to put any more on.
Reynad definitely very willing to put socks on somebody else's hands.
So what are the key vengeance cards that Hafu's trying to play around here? So obviously she's in a position she can try and push some damage, but if she does, then she does run the risk of putting Tice into that range of 10 life.
Absolutely. So the cards that we're going to be looking out for, one we see in hand already with Diabolic Rain, costs 5, which is a ton in this game, deals 4 damage, and will also heal you for 2, but if you're in Vengeance, only costs 1. So it allows you to make this really huge tempo push along with other spells. Realistically, any cards at this moment. We see a lot of removal, not a lot of anything else at the moment. Actually, Demonic Ram is a perfect card here. We'll allow Tice to have played that before that to gain some life, but did not. Decided not to. We'll also give him a target to evolve, which is very important because he can clear board with it.
And I wonder if part of what Tice is thinking is that he wants to get himself in range of Diabolic Drain, but he would have to play another thing to do damage to himself, because he's only able to get himself down to 11.
Right.
Order.
Order. Absolutely. As we progress into this game, if Tice can manage to stay alive here, we'll really just be looking for card draw.
And I mean, in this position, I think Hafu is really running the risk of being able to finish her turns, because she has so many layers of socks in her hands that just maneuvering the mouse gets to be pretty difficult.
Not only that, but it's funny, she's playing a deck that damages herself, so...
Right, yeah. That's particularly punishing.
And Tice, even while not being able to attack, has alt cards that also deal damage to both players, so definitely making it harder for her.
Yeah, but Tice is pretty low on resources right now. Not only does Hafu have a larger board at the moment, Tice only has the one removal card in hand. He's going to need to find something pretty big in his upcoming turns to swing this back, even with the sock advantage.
Right. So one of the keynote cards that he will be looking to draw here is Belphegor. Belphegor is a 4-play point 4/4. Will set you into Vengeance immediately, and then we'll draw you 2 cards. So basically try to get him back up into tempo and use his Diabolic Drain.
That's a good one.
There we go. Emeralda, another great one. 7 play points, right on time. 4/5. If you're in Vengeance, we'll gain Storm.
Yes, he's a little bit short though.
A little bit short, but will kill an enemy follower when it comes into play.
But frankly, at this point, I feel like Tice may just have to play to the board.
I think so.
He's so far behind against aggressive. Yeah, it's going to go ahead and play the Esmeralda. And no Storm here. He could evolve, but killing a 1/1's probably not worth spending at this point.
Right, probably not. And realistically, getting rid of the value that the Vite would have gained whenever it is in combat, you get an extra 1/1, very good. So Emeralda, great play there. Here we see one of the other new cards that came from Venom Fang Medusa, or her snake little calling here, is a Steno, which is a big snake, which summons more snakes. So going into the endgame for
There's the Belphegor. Tice
Perfect.
picks it up just as he hits Vengeance as well.
So will not lose any life to Belphegor, will draw more cards, can come back to the board here with that Drain and an Evolve on Belphegor or something else that he picks up.
He is still, going to need those additional resources because he is fighting back against a pretty big board from Hafu. And Hafu has 4 cards in hand.
4 cards in hand. And not only just 4 cards in hand, cards that can still push board here and push more damage, everything. All right, here we go. Roll those dice. Ooh. So Razor Claw, a good option because it can be used as a removal spell, but he will have to take damage to play it. Succubus, though, kind of a cool option because another follower you can put into play that will also damage Hafu here. Basically, if
he wants more socks. That's the plan.
Right.
Even if you can't win, the goal should just be to run them out of socks. So there's
Absolutely.
no more socks to put in our hands.
It could possibly be that with that many socks on your hand, you can't even push the button and then you just lose.
At some point, you lose the ability to actually manipulate the mouse, I think.
Right. Absolutely. All right, so here we see the Evolve on the Belphegor to take out the big follower on Hafu's side here. And I imagine he will save the Diabolic Drain here now. Again, the 1/1's not very imposing.
Nice and slow.
However, Hafu's done a really good job of saving her Evolution Orb for extra damage.
And right now, Tice only a 10 is in Vengeance, but Hafu with 4 snakes in play to push damage.
So right now, Hafu has a total of 4, plus an Evo would give her 6, plus the Razor Claw would give her 9. So she's actually 1 damage away from lethal. Very close. So realistically, now that Vengeance has been achieved for Tice, it's time to ignore Vengeance. It's time to just basically mitigate anything that could cause lethal towards you, and then just push as much face damage as you possibly can.
Yeah, so when you hit Vengeance with this deck, like how quickly can Tice turn the corner here, like against Hafu? Because Hafu is obviously at 11 here, and you think she's trading in at least some of these minions here. So do you think that she's afraid of Tice being able to push back and kill her?
I think so. I think this is where like the blood. I wouldn't really call this a mirror, but blood versus blood really kicks into high gear. It's really, we have a lot of powerful things that happen when we're at lower life. If I can't kill you immediately, you might be able to kill me immediately on the following turn, so I need to trade a little bit.
And here it really feels like the cards that Hafu has that are generating multiple minions per single card are really difficult for Tice to deal with because he has lots of single target removal, but that works pretty poorly against all of these 1/1 circles.
Exactly. The card that will put 2 1/1s into play, Venom Fang Medusa, as we saw, evolve multiple times this game to put extra 1/1s into play. And Tice just really not drawing the cards he needs here.
Yeah,
Small followers.
What is Tice looking for right now?
Another Emeralda would be great. Again, Belphegor's to draw more Diabolic range.
Uh-oh, we're changing up the strategy, going for the head mouse. Thijs is trying to find another way to victory here.
Anything he can do. You know what? I don't blame him. I don't blame him whatsoever. I think it was probably Justin Wong's idea. Perfect.
I feel like if someone's going to have their head used as a mouse pad, it should be Reynad, right? Like,
oh, why is that?
The 5 head, you know?
Oh, Bird. Okay. All right, we're playing dirty here. You know what? Team captain versus team captain. I enjoy it. That's beautiful. All right, so now, like we said, Thijs in a place where he really doesn't have anything left to do. Hafu can really just push him over here. But because it's Vengeance Blood, if a Belphegor happens off the top, if something big that can have a momentum shift happens, we could have a different game on our hand. That, a great card to pick up. So actually, Diabolic Drain able to kill the Venom Fang Medusa, Scarlet Sabrewer able to kill one of the Demonic Rams, gain up to 4 health this turn, go up to 13, and can really use that Razor Claw as well if he wants to clear off one more follower here. But again, we'll take 2 damage to do that. This is actually a lot more stressful game than I thought it was going to be looking at it a couple turns ago.
It's definitely come a lot closer. It was looking like Hafu was threatening to run away with it. Just look at her hand. She looks mummified.
Okay, here we go. This is the endgame spell for Aggro Blood. Caraboss, 6 play point 6/6. When it comes into play, you stop your play point generation. Of course, doesn't matter now, both players at 10. Every turn, at the end of your turn, you will deal damage to your opponent and draw an extra card. So this is where it kind of kicks into high gear and really puts the pressure on Thijs.
Yeah, not only that, but Hafu even has an evolution point yet. So if Thijs were to somehow claw his way back into this board, Hafu still has that resource to try and turn the tables back on him.
That's right. And you know, if Hafu wins here, your team's going down.
I mean, you don't have to rub it in, okay?
That's fair. That's fair. All right, so here we get to actually see the nice little animation at the end of turn. Okay, after the Summon Bloodkin of what Caraboss does. Dealing the 1 damage, drawing the extra card at the end of turn. So actually it's kind of cool because you get to play in your next turn.
Though, for Thijs, that's exactly what he needed. Try and find some more resources.
Perfect. Will he get it? Okay, nothing here really to deal with that Caraboss unless he really just wants to expend everything in his hand. He can play the Dark General, a 4/3 that he can play that will gain Storm because he's in Vengeance, plus the Razor Claw will take out the 6/6.
I mean, it kind of has to. He's at 10 life facing down, and also just really, really rough spot overall.
Well, this really goes to show you that if you're a tempered player and you keep your Evo points into the long game, it really makes every decision that your opponent is making very hard because it's like, I can do whatever I want, and you're kind of out of resources at this point.
Your time won't return to you.
Makes a smart play and clears the 6/6 while he has the chance. Hafu now with a Storm Follower. We've got 4 damage, 5, 6, 7 with Razor Claw. 8, 9 with Evolutionor.
It is all over.
This is it.
She's struggling through it with the socks in her hand. Just actually trying to get all the mechanics down.
There we go. Everybody give it up for Hafu. Taking this one. Awesome. That was a great game.
Look at how many socks are on her hands.
Okay, let's see how long it takes to pick them all up. This is perfect. All right, 1.
1? We're like 3 in and you just counted at 1?
Yeah. 55, there we go. All right. There we go. We caught back up.
That was like a whole bag of tube socks.
That was a whole bag of tube socks.
They may have been out.
I think they actually brought 2 bags of tube socks just in case.
Okay.
That game went way longer than we thought it.
And there's tons of incremental damage that meant just lots and lots of
damage myself, damage both of us. Let's have fun with it. Okay, so realistically, socks versus goggles, and now versus mouse pad. What do you think's been the worst so far?
I'm gonna go with the goggles because that's my excuse.
Sure. Sure. Yeah. We'll play to it. We'll play to it. All right. So So as far as Blood is concerned, what do you think about the class in general?
I think it's really interesting because the managing your life total, managing your health around Vengeance, especially in matchups like that where both players are trying to manage their health around Vengeance, and the particular cards that you're looking for to utilize that, makes all of your decisions of exactly how you want to trade, how much you want to push damage, very, very difficult, very intricate.
And as far as evolution orbs, because that was a very important part of that matchup, I know we talked about it a little bit, but for saving your evolution orbs, how hard do you think it is to make a decision in the mid game when you're behind or something like that to actually maintain that to keep it throughout the rest of the game?
It's very important to understand the role of your deck in the matchup and figure out, okay, can I afford to be a little bit behind on board? Do I have cards that can get me back into this without expending evolution points? And try to manage that sort of both in the mid and long term. I feel like in a lot of matchups you're going to have certain turns where in certain cards you generally expect to use your evolution points, and sometimes when that doesn't really line up as you planned, you need to deviate from that script, and that's when things get complicated.
Perfect. All right, and we're going to take it back to the stage. We're going to have our player interview. Go ahead and take it away, Jump.
Thanks a lot, and it is going to be the sock victory herself, Hafu. Congratulations on the win. It definitely looked like you were piling up some socks, though.
Yeah, it was kind of a rough, a rough wheel for me, because I played Bloodcraft, and you basically want to deal damage to your own face. So like every turn I was putting on a layer of socks.
Now, if you had to choose which one you had to deal with, whether it be the socks or what Tice had to do, would you rather have had to use the mouse pad for yourself, or would you have done socks again?
I think I'd rather do the mouse pad because your teammate wants you to win, so they'll be like very still. They'll be a good mouse pad.
And I mean, Kibler said it best. You could have just put the mouse pad on Reynat's forehead and you'd have been fine. And that's all that you really had to worry about. But regardless, you guys go away with a victory, so congratulations to you. You can find your merry way back with your team. And we're going to bring out the Ultimate Carrot again because we do have some more fun matches as he's here and he is back. It is going to be Jaewong versus Eloise. We're going to have Jaewong come out first and find out what the Wheel of Misfortune has for him. All right, Carrot, you know what to do. You know what to do. Oh no! Sabotage. All right, let's try again. Uh-oh. Oh, almost. Not there. So the air cannon offensive. So this one's a little fun because we've got an air cannon in the back, and while they're playing, Eloise has any opportunity that she wants at her own choosing. There will be an air cannon that she will be able to run over and beret Jaewong while he's playing his turn. But in the process, she will not be able to look at her own screen. So it is going to be a very interesting tactic on whether or not he's going to be able to have it. So we're going to let him take his seat and bring on Eloise and see what she has for the Wheel of Misfortune. All right, Carrot, what are you going to have? Let's roll it. Let's roll. And it's coming, and it's coming, and it's coming. Hey, we're not fighting this. We're not. Did this happen? So it landed on the Carrot, which means that now during the match, the Carrot will be able to do anything and everything to distract Eloise without touching her. So the devilish demise is on its way. As we are getting set up for the next match, we'll go ahead and let you take your stage, take your seat. We're going to throw it back over to the casters because we have another, again, of a swap. It is going to be Reynat on that desk with EXO. Guys, take it away.
Reynat, welcome to the desk. Your team up 2-0. How you feeling right now?
Feeling pretty good, man. Easiest games of our lives so far. So
easiest games of our lives. Great. Eloise taking up the mantle next. How do you feel about Eloise?
She's a great player. I expect to see great things as long as the Carrot doesn't get too far in the way.
That's right. So the Carrot. We haven't really seen that yet. We saw the Carrot kind of be a menace on the stage. Do you think it can play a factor? Is Eloise easily distractible? Is she kind of skittish?
Eloise is a pretty focused player when she you know, as like in a tournament setting. But, you know, I mean, on stage in front of people, you have a crowd looking at you. You have a giant carrot trying to mess with you. I don't know. It's hard to predict how she's going to react, you know?
Absolutely. What about the air horn? So we haven't seen that one yet. Not the air horn, but the air cannon. Pumping air into your face while you're playing. As a player, what would that do to you?
Make you chuckle or really distract you. It kind of depends on the player, right? I mean, fair enough. You know, I think always, I mean, J1 both, they have a lot of experience in the, you know, competitive settings, so I don't expect to be too much of a factor for either of them.
Absolutely. Okay, so Brian Kibler got in a cheap shot at you as the other team captain. Do we have any cheap shots to throw back his way?
I mean, you know, when you can't get a win on stage, that's what you got to do, right? Get the wins where you can. Fine.
So hit him where it hurts. Absolutely. All right, so as far as the decks that have been played so far, Shadowverse in general, like, how are you feeling about it? Like, the flow of it? Like, what is your favorite class so far? What do you like?
And it's so fun, honestly. I mean, one of the things I've always loved the most about Shadowverse is how every single class feels so different. Like, every single archetype is a completely different play strategy. You're not always just fighting for early game board, but there's very unique combo decks. Like, ramp decks play kind of differently. It's just cool to play a different class and know that the game is just going to feel very different, you know, depending on what my opponent's doing and what I'm playing. So, yeah, it's been a cool meta so far. I like the Runecraft decks a lot, honestly.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what about Rune speaks to you? It's actually my favorite class, too. I love Rune because spell boost and because dirt or earthright. Basically just everything that combos with each other. You don't really rely on one individual card, but it's your deck synergy as a whole.
I mean, the thing with Runecraft for me is I just love spells, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Creatures are boring. I just want to play spells. Like Chimera decks are super fun. I just want to draw cards, ignore the board, and, you know, kill stuff once in a while. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, and we've got actually Hafu with the cannon, so she can come out whenever she wants and distract with that cannon. All right, so let's get into the decks here. We've got, it looks like an aggro forest deck versus an aggro sword deck. So Eloise, like we said before, the cast got to change her deck. She kind of switched it up a little bit. She got to play some decks that she wanted to play. Who do you think has the edge in this matchup?
You know, it's tough to say. You know, the Swordcraft deck is super strong just in general, especially against kind of more fair strategies. So, you know, maybe if the Forestcraft deck doesn't get the crazy combos that it wants, I see Swordcraft running away with this.
Right on. So realistically, because this is an aggro matchup, we're going to be looking very intensely at the curve. And right now, it looks like the curve goes to the Forest player at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the nice thing about playing Forestcraft is your whole deck just costs 1 mana. So it's usually pretty easy to fill out those first few turns without skipping any mana.
Absolutely. And Justin Wong, known for his fighting capabilities, I haven't seen him play card games yet. We'll see how good he is at playing this Forestcraft deck, but it is an aggro deck. So we get to see kind of what his style is. He likes to be aggressive. He likes to play counterplay. That's not really what this deck does, though. He likes to counter in fighting games, but in this type of deck archetype, you kind of got to push face. You're not looking to stall the game out for a late game.
Yeah, well, you know, Rhinoceroach can definitely have some comeback mechanisms, a little bit of counterplay. You drop really low, you have almost no health left, and all of a sudden you just combo your opponent out of the game.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we get to see one of the highlighted new cards for Swordcraft from this set, Mars, 3-play.23. Whenever another follower comes into play on your side, it gets 1 extra toughness and gains the ability Clash whenever it goes into battle with another follower, +1/+0. So basically, every follower that comes after it, amazing. And that's exactly what Sword likes to do, play followers.
Yeah, it's a super sought-after card, just incredibly powerful. Even in the mid stages, you know, normally you think about drawing a 3-drop later, not being that good. But with this card, you drop it alongside some minions, and pretty strong. But yeah, Jay Wong gonna go ahead and clear that off the table as he should.
As he should. Decides not to play anything else afterwards, and honestly didn't attack with that before he bounced it to his hand. So maybe his fighting game prowess kind of not showing up on the card game prowess a little bit here.
Look, man, what looks to you like a misplay is very calculated BM.
Absolutely. I love it.
Fighting game player, they really value the psychological impact you can have on an opponent. So, yeah, miss damage, yeah, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt there.
Absolutely, absolutely. So here we actually get to see Justin be able to play his Elf Child May again to take out that 2-1, along with filling up the board, which is exactly what you want to be doing as an aggro player. And here we see the carrot. All right, talk to me about this carrot, right, Ned? Right behind Eloise, not being too distracting yet. Maybe taking a little easy on her since it's just starting.
He's just so happy, man. Oh, man, I wish I loved anything as much as Carrot loves bothering people right now.
That is probably the weirdest thing about this carrot is the fact that it has a huge smile on its face.
He's just a happy guy, you know? I think he's misunderstood.
Okay, misunderstood I'll go with. I like that. Maybe not trying to be creepy. Maybe he's trying to spread joy, and we just all take it the wrong way. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Eloise being a little bit rude, ignoring the carrot. You know,
just trying to say hi, trying to be your friend. Perfect. All right, so now we get to see one of the other new cards from the set, Council or Roundtable Assembly, where it will actually pull two commanders that cost 3 into play from your deck immediately, and we get 2 wards from the deck. Very nice play.
That's super powerful. I mean, for 5 mana, the amount of stats you're getting there is just crazy.
Absolutely crazy. 6/4 with the ward body. Doesn't even have to evo this turn. Doesn't feel like it's necessary.
Now Jaewong here's with a full hand, trying to figure out how am I going to recover on this board. You don't really want to be trading Beetle Warriors into that. I like this play.
That's right, I like this play too. This will set up pretty much every other turn that happens. Ephemera having an ambush ability, ambush essentially meaning it can't be attacked or targeted until it's chosen to be an attacker, and usually you don't do that. You just let it sit there and buff all your other followers.
Yeah, and there's a decent value trade here if he does choose to evolve it, which I wouldn't mind seeing.
Absolutely. Can evolve that Ephemera to then take out the other white paladin, but then expose her. Decides not to.
Yeah, it is a powerful effect. Makes sense to hold on to it too.
Absolutely. And here, we get to see if Eloise wants to push for damage or if she wants to play a little bit more of the control game. Actually, evolving this white paladin would be really nice. It puts 2 1/1 wards into play, or essentially 1/1/1 ward for every enemy follower there is, and she can push damage with that white paladin along with playing anything else she wants to, such as those Mars in hands, which will pump the other followers that come into play.
Definitely, yeah. One of the most difficult things about playing Shadowverse is knowing when to use Evolve proactively. I mean, when you're behind on board, it's really easy to justify, you know, having to evolve, keep up on the board, trade. When you're ahead, to evolve aggressively is not the easiest call to make, but here I definitely think it is super powerful.
Super powerful. And actually goes defensively with the attack there. Very interesting. So kind of like a very defensive play here. Just wants to get those wards established before kind of making her big push into the late game.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you're only going to need 2 attacks with a board like that to end the game. So she realizes, you know, maybe this board damage isn't really going to change how fast I kill my opponent. And, you know, might as well just make sure that my board is hard to deal with by killing his minions.
Absolutely. And against forests, whether she knows it or not, putting up a bunch of wards is really nice. It means combo cards out of hand won't be able to hit face. Basically just makes it really tough for Justin Wong to kind of execute his game plan here.
Absolutely. Beetle Warrior, one of the most powerful Forestcraft aggressive tools coming down. It's going to help him catch back up on the board a little bit. You know, we're still seeing him sitting on 3 evolution points. I think I'd like to see him use one of those sometime soon just to help recover.
Absolutely. It being just a regular 2/3, but if you play 2 spells before it, it will get +1/+1 and Storm. So very powerful card, as Reynad said. Really deciding if he wants to take out small wards, keep more defense in play. I think he's actually going to need to use that Ephemera at some point because he's getting kind of behind on board here. Kind of rough for him.
Yeah, definitely getting punished right now for leaving it up from last turn, but you know, that's what happens, man. You give Swordcraft a bit of a board and it just runs away with the game. It's such a powerful class when it gets elite.
That's right, especially after changes that Eloise made to it. I'm sure it's a lot more powerful than it might have been beforehand.
Well, Jaewong's going to clear off what he can, but Eloise still sitting pretty on a massive board.
Massive board. Double Mars still in play, meaning, again, every follower that comes out afterwards will just get the benefits.
You got to kind of feel for Jaewong here. It's kind of 3v1 right now.
Exactly.
Eloise has the moral support of Hafu and the carrot behind her.
So what we thought might be a bad thing, the carrot actually intervened. And now is basically, like you said, just coaching Eloise, making her feel good, keeping the smiles on her face.
They're a team.
They are a team. Hafu not deciding to use that, instead using her time to coach as opposed to using that cannon to distract Jaewong, maybe feeling they don't need it at the moment.
Yeah, Hafu's a pacifist, and that's okay. You know, really she's a streamer of the people, right? She wants us to be closer. Let's not put Team Kibler at more of a disadvantage.
That's true.
When they're already behind as far as they are.
That's true.
Let's see. This is so tough to clear for Forcecraft. I mean, it does have some solid, you know, small damage removal, but to deal with a massive board is really tough.
Right, and the toughness that the Mars are actually granting every follower that comes into play here is just going to make it harder and harder for Justin to actually kill anything. he might just have to avert that strategy and just try to push face as fast as he can before he dies.
Yep, I mean, if somehow he can survive a turn, there might be some kind of miracle with Rhinoceros that could happen off the top.
Rhinoceros, for those of you who don't know, 2-play point 1/1 with Storm, but gets +1/+0 for every spell played before it, and in combination with cards like Nature's Guidance, where you can bounce back to your hand, can be super potent in the late game.
Yeah, absolutely. Rhinoceros has been just a staple Forcecraft card. One of the reasons the class has been so powerful since the beginning of Shadowverse, and you know, it is definitely a good way to come back from behind, right? Rather than losing slowly, just kill your opponent.
Literally just kill them. Yes, out of your hand, and a lot of times they can't do anything about it.
You can get this one.
Okay, so Justin deciding to be a little defensive here, probably the smart call.
You can get this one.
Yeah, he's opting to the trades that leave his Beetle Warrior at more health, but I think he lost one more minion as a result.
Right, and realistically doing a good job of actually saving resources in case he does draw into a Rhinoceros. So this might actually be good.
No, absolutely, yeah. I mean, his hand is very powerful if he hits that card.
That's right. And of course, Eloise just pushing forward with board control, playing a Fangblade Slayer that will gain Rush and Bane, so kills anything that it attacks, and will also deal its power and damage to their opponent, even while attacking enemy followers. Very potent card for Sword.
Yeah, super powerful. I think we'll see Albert get in there. That is Albert, right?
That is Albert, yeah. Albert, the actual Swordcraft staple. Just an unassuming 5-play point 3/5 with Storm. Just okay, but for 9 play points, Raynad, you know.
Yeah, I mean, okay, 5-play point 3/5 with Storm with no other text would probably be an auto-include in this deck anyway.
Right.
But with Enhance, that card can just kill your opponent out of nowhere.
That's right, it will allow it to attack for basically 2 times in a turn if you have 9 play points to use with it, and if you evolve it, that's 10 damage in 1 turn from 1 card. Pretty powerful. And actually an interesting choice here, uses the Selwyn's command to get the Grand Arch of Selwyn in hand, which can actually negate an attack from Eloise next turn.
Absolutely, that may buy him the time he needs.
Ooh. Ooh. Bouncing the Albert before turn 9, interesting play.
Yeah. That is a unique line indeed, I think.
Very unique.
We're just going to see Eloise play Albert again next turn and get there.
Yeah, I think, maybe.
There's no choice.
Maybe she doesn't realize that Albert has in hand.
You can get this one.
All right, so Justin Wong clearing the board after bouncing Albert to hand. We'll push some damage.
You can get this
See if Eloise sees the people.
I mean, he did protect his ambush minion the entire game, but I would have liked to see him use it a little bit earlier just for board control. Had he evolved it the first turn he played it, Eloise might not have been able to win the board here. But as it stands, Albert's going to come down, do what Albert does, and wreck the opponent.
So if you guys were interested in Swordcraft, this is the card you should be looking for.
This is the card. This is
Albert. Fun game. All right, everybody give it up for Eloise, taking that game down. Raynad up 3-0. How you feel now?
I know. The usual, man. Expected result.
Expected. All right, so when you first were told that you were going to be in a show match, right? And you were like, all right, I'm going to be against Kibler and his team. What did you think, first of all? Were you like, easy, what is this?
Of course, of course. That's the mentality I have going into every tournament.
Okay.
You gotta be confident, you gotta expect things to go fine, you know?
Talk to me why that confidence matters. Like, what is it about that mindset that really pushes you into the big turn?
Oh, if you start second guessing yourself, you start overthinking turns, you'll make a misplay on an otherwise simple turn a lot of times, but if you're just like, I'm the best, my team's got this, and just click on stuff, it seems to work out better.
That's fair, that's fair. Okay, so again, we're gonna bring it back to the carrot. Okay, so the carrot, obviously super fun. I think was a benefit there.
Yeah, it seemed like a buff.
Yeah.
Just like the socks in the first round. It's like some nice gloves in a chilly venue. Now you have a carrot there backing you up, being happy.
Cheering for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like.
Radiant orange positivity surrounding you.
And I think Justin Wong kind of got a saving grace because, like you said, Hafu, a very nice lady, didn't want to use that cannon on the attack.
Yeah.
So kind of just was able to play his own game and maybe just not able to get there.
Yeah, I want to earn it the hard way, you know?
That's right.
I'll play a fair game.
So for the matches coming up, now that we're switching up the roster a little bit, do you still have the same confidence? Are you still going to be crushing 3-0? Is that your estimate?
Nah, we're fine. Yeah. I've never lost a game of Shadowverse in my life. I'm fine.
All right, let's kick it back over to the stage. Let's get our next interview going.
Thanks a lot, guys. And while the Ultimate Carrot tried its best, it did not do too much as Eloise does come away with that victory. How was it actually, having that distraction?
It's very different experience.
Now, you also had your teammate able to go over and throw the air cannon. I was actually very surprised that she didn't go over there more often. Were you getting a little bit of inside help to help win that match?
You mean Hafu? Because Hafu trusts how good I am. She knows I can do it.
Now, you also ignored the carrot as much as humanly possible. Do you not like it that much?
He tried to grab my mouse. So it's pretty scary, actually.
Scary indeed. Well, congratulations to you. You can go back and rest yourself a little bit because it is going to be our next match coming up. We are going to have Kibler versus Hafu. And Kibler, let's find out which your next torture is going to be. The carrot will be here shortly. There he is. There he is. All right. So, because we feel bad because you lost your first, we're not going to bring the carrot out here for this. We'll let you spin it yourself. And it is the trackball torture. So, we have our Wizard of Savaz will bring out the trackball of torture. It is a giant trackball with the sensitivity turned down as low as possible. There it is indeed, and it is your new mouse for this game. So you may take your seat with Mr. Tice, your teammate, and have fun with the trackball. As now we are gonna bring out Hafu and see what her torture is gonna be. And the carrot is back. You don't get the handicap. Spin away, my friend. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh! We don't want the repeat socks. So now, you are the one with the air cannon offensive. It is now the enemy team that gets the air cannon. So, if you didn't watch the last match, enemy team is gonna have that air cannon and will be able to run over and berate her with air as much as they so please. And so with that, we're gonna let her take her seat, and we're gonna throw it back over to the casters, get another swap, and get into the next match.
Justin Wong. Okay, from one Justin to another Justin, okay? I feel kind of bad. You guys are down 0-3, but you're a fighting game master. What's your mentality now coming back here?
So my first initial thought is that, since Hafu shot me with the air cannon and she just got it, shouldn't I get revenge right now? I should be the one shooting her. You know what I mean? That's not fair. But okay,
maybe we can work that out.
Right.
We can work that out.
Yeah, we're down to 0-3, so we got to win the next 3.
Right. So as a fighting game man, talk to me. When you're in this state right now, what are you thinking to get yourself back into it?
Change up the game plan, change up the strategy. Did I play too aggressive? Maybe I should play more defensive. So it really comes down to that. And you got to believe in the heart of cards in this case, right?
All right, so again, that's Team B. Team Reynad is up 3-0, okay?
That doesn't sound too big of a difference, you know what I mean?
It's
just have
not.
to win the next 3 games.
It's not a big deal. All right, so we're hopping into the next game here. We've got Kibler versus Hafu. All right, so now we actually get to see some runecraft. We haven't really seen a lot of runecraft yet. And we're going to see mid-range runecraft, which is Dirt Rune, revolves around the sigils, versus the combo rune we kind of made mention of, which plays around the spells. So essentially, the spell version will be looking to play as many spells as possible to play its endgame in Giant Chimera, which is a 9 play point follower that when it comes into play will deal damage to their opponent equal to the amount of times you've spell boosted in a game.
How is he playing on this trackball? It looks really interesting. So can we look at that? Look at this.
Let's
it's like a kid's toy.
It looks like Simon Says, right?
He definitely just played golf right there.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Top golf.
That Pokemon Go, the swipe up.
So, okay, I tried to play with this before the tournament actually started.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I had to use both of my hands, and I still wasn't making sense out of it. Yeah.
So you were the tester of all of these experiments.
Yes, I was the lab rat.
Okay, all right.
Absolutely. So, but Brian Kibler, obviously a master of many things. That trackball, probably not a big hindrance. All right, so here we actually get to see what the main take of the deck is. That calling actually putting Chimera into the deck, of course, designed that way to do so. So now, all that's going through the mind of Hafu is try to fill every single turn with as many spells as she can cast to make that giant Chimera potent for the endgame.
Yeah, I played against a Runecraft, and I definitely lost like 28 health. Like the end, like 9 turns.
Oh yeah, oh
so
yeah.
It hurts.
It's kind of like a clock. You know,
hurts.
As soon as turn 9 is coming around, you're probably in trouble. But because these players are a little inexperienced with the game, maybe they don't know that inevitability. So it'll be interesting to see. Now, Kibler, on the other hand, what he's trying to do is be the aggressor. He's trying to kill Hafu before she can get to those 9 play points, and Hafu's going to do everything she can to stop that. All right, so aggressive options here for Kibler. Basically replay the Magic Illusionist, getting in that psychological damage. Always attack for 0 when you can. Absolutely perfect. And does have a Time-Worn Mage Levi in hand for the evolution turn. Now, why that's important is for Runecraft, Levi's been a time-tested card for that class. When you Evo it, not only does it get +2/+2 and the ability to attack, but you get a Crimson Sorcery in hand, which is 1 play point, deal 3 damage to any target. Probably one of the best evolution targets in the entire game. All right, Justin, so talk to me. If you're the aggressive player here in Kibler, right? What are you thinking to do? Like, how are you trying to beat Runecraft right now? How are you trying to use your evolution orbs?
I'm definitely trying to do as much damage as I can right now, because you said once she gets to turn 9, it might be trouble, and you won't really know the number. So it's going to be kind of scary. Absolutely, absolutely. So a couple choices here. Again, like we talked about, can evolve that Levi to get max value out of that evolution orb. Could just really save that, evolve the Magic Illusionist to hit for face, and kind of just pass a turn back. Doesn't really have a lot of things he can do right now. Has those Wizardess of Oz's, very beautifully portrayed on stage by our cosplayer, but not until the end game. Essentially what Wizardess of Oz does, 5 play point 4/5, that when it comes into play, will fill your hand back up to 5 cards. And if you have 5 cards, you won't draw anything. And every spell in your hand will go down to a 1 cost. And then if she dies, all of those spells will then get banished from your hand. So try to use those spells if you do play Wizardess of Oz. See, I'm a big fan of the Mage. You get the Crimson Sorcery. Yes. I like that one. Yeah, that one's probably my favorite. Free damage. There's nothing wrong with free damage. So, okay, so actually we're seeing the trackball come into play for Kibler here. Maybe he just can't navigate. Maybe it's taking him too long. He doesn't know how to actually click on the cards that he wants. And it's relevant in this game because you actually have a time limit in this game. If you don't make all of your plays in a relevant time frame, you'll just end the turn. Yeah, that happened to me a lot of the times. Oh, yeah? Say, yeah. Down to time. So what does that feel like? When you see that little circle start hovering down on your end turn button to end your turn, what's going through your mind? It's actually scary because let's say you have some more play points left and you're thinking, oh my God, I need to play something, but I don't want to end the turn without playing anything or have a leftover play points. So it's one of those things that I kind of maybe made a harsh decision. Okay, and maybe not the best one, but just like, all right, got to do something. Yeah. Absolutely.
You're done for.
All right, so we're seeing Hafu here make a defensive play, get a ward on the board. And getting used to have the Witch Bolt. So Witch Bolt actually lets you redraw a card if you have an Evolved Follower in play. So great turn from Hafu here. All right, and Kibler, maybe not a lot of options yet, but those Wizardess of Oz's are coming up and can make good use out of that. So Kibler, what he's going to try to do is probably just start to empty his hand out so that he can make good use. That's a good card. Dance of Death? Yeah, talk to me about that card. Destroy enemy follower and deal 2 damage? Pretty good, right? That's a reliable. That's a good or reliable. Draw 2 more right now, please. Safe and reliable. Yes. All right, so Hafu, again, just executing your game plan flawlessly, keeping the board clean, playing spells, and has 2 Levi's. Only 1 evolution orb left. Probably going to get used out of that one right now. And actually, if she chooses to attack and use a spell on that Magic Illusionist, can actually just get rid of it. Magic Illusion is one of the most annoying characters because when it dies, it will actually just pop an Earth Sigil and come right back.
So how do you feel about, like, since she has no more evolutionary points, then like Kibler can have evolved 2 more times. Wouldn't he be in the favor at this moment?
So technically, yes, as far as damage is concerned, but Kibler doesn't have anything in play, and Rune isn't really known for its Storm followers, so there's nothing really crazy that's going to happen immediately. Now, that being said, Hafu, again, is playing into her game plan. All she needs to do is just keep playing spells, keep making sure the board's clean, and not die until that turn 9 rolls around. Now, turn 9's not inevitability. It doesn't mean she's automatically going to win because Chimera will deal damage to followers before the enemy leader. But the longer and longer the game goes, as we say, the more advantage she has. So realistically, if I'm Kibler right now, what I'm looking to do is just empty my hand every single turn and start getting advantage out of those Wizardesses as soon as I can.
It won't be long now.
And here we actually get to see the supreme value of using all of your evolution orbs on Levi's, because even though he hasn't been able to deal damage to face lately, he's got 6 damage, direct damage, sitting in his hand right now.
Guaranteed.
Plus that safe and reliable Dance of Death sitting in there as well.
Man, that's the card.
So far, your favorite?
Out of this, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I like those really safe, cheap cards.
Perfect. So I think we see the coaching come into play here a lot more than the wheel spins here. I think the players really want their coaching. They really like their teammates around. I like this. They like to play a little fair.
No, they were helping me out when I didn't really know. I had too many fairies in my hands. I'm like, should I get rid of some of these fairies? Like, yeah, get rid of them.
Yeah. Very, very good sportsmanship from both of these teams, I will have to say.
I'm all tuckered out.
All right, so Kibler electing to keep all cards in hand so far. And gets the 3rd Levi, so 9 direct damage if he chooses to use his next evolution orb on that in hand. I really want to know what's going through his mind right now, being so tempered. You know what I mean? Like, he's like, you know what?
I think he wants to end it, like, in one turn.
I'm going to blame the trackpad. I'm going to blame the trackpad. I think he's trying to play spells, and he just can't. I think that's what's happening. Look at him. Look at him just struggle.
It looks really funny, actually. You should just keep it on the whole time to see how he's reacting to everything.
Okay, I think he's catching the rhythm now. Still having a hard time, but catching the rhythm.
Yep, all right, takes 1.
There we go. Now he's starting to use the resources out of his hand. I like this. All right, so Mystic Ring, actually a new card from Starforged Legends that kind of added a new dimension to the game. So for 1 play point, we'll take a card from your hand, shuffle it back into your deck, and then you can redraw a card.
Ooh.
Before, the effect didn't exist in the game. So if you're playing a combo deck or something that you really don't want, doubles in your hand of, or if you have a card you don't want until later in the game, you can just shuffle it right back and redraw a card. Very potent effect. Also very good because it's a 1-cost spell to help with spell boost. All right, Justin, talk to me. Hafu, what's she thinking right now?
She has a lot of cards, and I think she's probably going to summon stuff. Just keep getting that spell boost.
Perfect, and here we get to see a good example of spell boost. That Fire Chain's being in hand for quite a while, spell boosting to deal 1 damage to an enemy random enemy follower X times based on spell boost. Clears the entire board. Great spell.
So what do you think Kibler's next play should be right now? He has a lot of high point cards.
Exactly. This play, honestly, I would just dump. I would go Dance of Death, Crimson Sorcery, deal as much damage as I can, and then turn after turn, just start pushing those Wizardess of Oz's. And honestly, I don't really know if he has much of a better play. He can just straight out play a Wizardess of Oz, but of course you want to be drawing cards with that.
Yeah.
Ryan having
No.
You can see the struggle on his face. I love the trackball. I think this one's my favorite by far.
This one's the most dangerous, I would say.
Absolutely.
Actually, the mouse massage, that one was pretty rough on your knees, you know?
Did you like that one, being the mouse pad, now that we got your side of it?
Well, I didn't mind it, but my knees mind.
Oh, okay.
But then I just said, just put it on my head, and I was fine with that.
Perfect. All right, so here we go. This is basically endgame versus endgame. Hafu's down to the wire, has her giant Chimera, is it enough to kill Kibler in one shot right now? I can't say.
Don't say it. Don't say anything.
Okay.
You gotta keep it a secret.
Uh-oh.
Death is another
Clears off
fiction.
all followers with that fiery embrace. Plays the Chimera.
Oh. This is when the Crimson Sorcery is needed right now.
That's right. Now, by killing the Wizardess of Oz, makes him discard that spell in his hand, so actually doesn't have the direct damage that he thought he would have this turn. And is in a really rough spot. He might just have to play that Wizardess and gamble and hope that it draws him into another removal spell. However, I think we've seen all 3 Dance of Deaths. Maybe we only saw 2?
I think we saw 2.
We saw 2, okay.
Yeah.
So there is a chance to draw a 3rd one here. They kill off that giant Chimera.
You gotta believe in your heart.
That's
Sometimes
right.
You have to believe in your heart.
Now we do see if there were 10 play points available, Kibler would have 6 damage in hand with the Halo Golem and Master Mage Levi. Okay, goes for the gamble. Doesn't quite get there.
You're not happy, huh?
Not happy about that.
No, he's not happy.
Ugh, almost there. One more play point would have done it. One spell would have done it. All right, we're gonna let this giant Chimera go the whole. Oh, I see. All right, playing the whole turn. Here we go.
Turn.
See what else he's got.
Like might as well, huh?
That's right. Rubbing it in. All right, what else can we do? We got a magic missile. Perfect.
Damn.
There we
that
go.
was a struggle
Hafu
right there.
taking that game down. Give it up.
I kind of want to say Hafu won because there was no, air missiles coming at her in real life.
They're being too nice.
They were very being too nice. I would have just start going in.
I think we need to start getting a little bit more aggressive here.
It should have been me. I would have been like, nope, you're going to keep messing up. I'm going to go to the mouse and just boom, boom, boom.
So to be fair, your team is down 4-0 now, okay? I think we need the aggression to start. I think you guys need to start utilizing this wheel because maybe they've got the edge on the deck.
I think the wheel doesn't like us. Kibler had to play on the trackball. You know what I mean? That was a disadvantage. There was no air shots in front of Hafu.
That's true.
The carrot was definitely in love with Eloise.
I think
the carrot was definitely in love with her.
About that, yeah.
Right? He was definitely in love. He's like, oh, you're my soulmate. I'm not going to mess with you. Beat up Justin. That's
Carrot soulmate. That's so perfect.
Yep.
So perfect. All right, so what are you going to do to come back into this? Okay, what are you guys going to do to at least save some face and win some matches here?
I don't know. Well, I'm going to play with my main character next.
Okay.
Karen. So I'm going to be pretty happy. And I think I'm more confident in Havencraft. I like playing Havencraft when I was playing Shadowverse a lot for the last 3 weeks. So I hope I get the cards I need and the good rushdown I have.
Perfect. All right, great stuff from Justin Wong. Let's take it back over to the stage for our next winner's interview.
That's right, we do have the winner indeed, Hafu, coming through, and despite the tortures that we had through him, it wasn't enough to really have anything on her, so we're gonna bring her out. Now, you guys were the receiving end of the air cannon offensive. Did that really mess with you guys at all?
No, I mean, he only came over a few times and shot at us, so.
Definitely was feeling confident with that trackball, but it didn't really end up playing out really well. So you've gotten obviously a couple chances to be playing Shadowverse on stage. What is it like getting to play Shadowverse, at something like this at TwitchCon?
I mean, it's a lot of fun, and it's even more fun with like my friends here, Eloise and Reynad. Known them for quite a few years now, and against some of my friends as well, so.
The frenemies, at least for the weekend, says. Well, congratulations to you. We'll kick you off because we know we'll be seeing you very shortly. And so with that, it is going to be Tice versus Eloise as the next match. We're going to go ahead and bring out the ultimate carrot as well as Tice to see what his Wheel of Misfortune is going to bring him. Back as always. And now we're gonna bring out, I'll get to your level. I'll get to your level. We'll have to bring out Tice for the next set, game number 5. All right, Carrot, what do we got? We've got socks, we've got trackball. Toilet goggles. All right, he wants to do it again. It was on the turn. All right, so you'll get the repeat, you'll get the trackball torture, As we saw in the last match, it was Kibler having to use that trackball to viciously roll it across to make sure that he could get himself some plays. The Wizard of Oz is going to have it, and it is going to be Eloise taking him on. So let's bring her out and see what her next torture is. She did have the carrot itself the last time. What is she going to have this time around? Go, go, go. Where is it? Where is it? I think, no, we're hearing word from the mistress. It's the glasses. It is the glasses, indeed. So, the perpetual sunglasses, throughout the match, she is going to be having to put on 1, 2, 3, more and more sunglasses on her face and stacking them up as she attempts to play the match. So, it's definitely going to be a different one, to say the least. So, we'll let you take your seat, as we've got plenty of sunglasses for you to put on your face and to stack as many as possible. But with that, Hafu is joined at the desk by EXO as usual, so we're gonna kick it over to them to get ready for game number 5.
All right, Hafu, straight off of a win, you've got to be feeling awesome right now. Talk to me.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel I got pretty lucky. I know that our team is played, and we pretty much won the roll at the end. When they went for an answer and they didn't get one.
All right, so I've got to ask, do you think you've been having wheel advantage? Do you guys think you're just straight up better? Is this too easy for you guys? Talk to me about this.
I definitely think we're getting the wheel advantage. I think the trackball is probably the hardest one, and they got it last time. I don't know how much it affected their play, but they got it again, so I was pretty happy to see that.
Perfect, perfect. Okay, so Combo Rune, one of the most complex deck to play. How did you like feeling it? What did it feel like to you?
I love combo decks. It was the first deck that I played playing Shadowverse back in Alpha.
Okay.
And I used to play like the Time Warp deck, where you would just like get another turn and kill them.
Right.
And this felt a lot like that. It was just like building, clearing the board. It's really annoying to play against, but it's really fun as the player.
Perfect. Awesome. So like spell, definitely your choice. You wouldn't have liked the Earthright deck as much, correct?
Yeah, I think it's just more satisfying. They just try to build a board. They're like, look at this. And you're like, nope, 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 nope. You just clear it, and eventually you just like nuke them for a bajillion.
So the card I think you were making mention of was Dimension Shift, the one that actually lets you take extra turns if you spell boost a bunch. It costs 18, will go down to 0. How do you like winning with Giant Chimera as opposed to Dimension Shift?
It definitely feels more awesome, and I didn't fully understand it at first. And then as I kept mousing over and rereading, I was like, oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. That's exactly the response I was hoping for. Okay, we're going to kick into this match pretty soon. We've got, again, Tice versus Eloise. Who do you think has the advantage here in pure skill?
Definitely Eloise. She looks like a kawaii girl. So helpless and harmless, but she actually is super good at Shadowverse. She's Legend Rank. She plays this game so much. I think she plays this more than Hearthstone.
Really?
Off stream.
Interesting.
Yeah, whenever I hang out with her, she's always playing on her phone. Always. Like, no matter what we're doing. We're eating and she's like in the middle of a Shadowverse game.
Again, I think it's because she thinks it's so pretty.
Yeah.
She likes that. That's great. Okay, so we're hopping into this game. Tice is going to be playing Combo Forest, and Eloise is going to be playing Prime Dragon Keeper Dragon. And we'll get into what those cards do in a second. So Combo Forest, one of the hardest decks in the game to play. Have you ever tackled this deck before?
I haven't. I haven't.
Okay, so let's talk about what it does. We talked a little about what Rhinoceros does and how it can combo and be effective. This is a deck that actually utilizes that as its main strategy. It's not an aggro deck first and then a combo deck later. It is a Rhinoceros deck combo. And then what we have on the side of Eloise is a Prime Dragon Keeper, which we can see in hand. So the mechanic for Dragon is get to 7 play points, right?
Pardon?
Get to 7 play points.
Yeah.
It opens up what that class does. Prime Dragon Keeper specifically says if you're at 7 play points, then it cannot be attacked, and every time you play a follower that costs 3 or less, deal 2 damage to an enemy follower and 1 damage to the opponent.
Holy.
So
you just have to survive till...
Exactly.
Till
You're trying to survive, and then you just flood the board and just keep controlling the board. It becomes very hard to overwhelm that deck at the late game stages. So as far as combo versus late game, I actually want to say that Tice has the advantage here. If he can get his combo assembled before this Prime Dragon Keeper deck can start going off, he'll be able to just finish out the game.
I mean, that is always if the combo deck can pull it off, right?
Exactly. So how do you feel about combo decks in general? I know you like the Rune deck, but in Hearthstone, anything like that, do you ever gear towards combo decks?
Yeah, absolutely. My favorite decks are like Miracle Rogue, where it feels like very much in your control, and you have a lot of different ways to play. I think a lot of people think that combo decks are only like one-dimensional, like you can only win with a combo.
Sure.
But in reality, there's like a lot of different ways to finish the game and to win, and it's fun to like piece together how to do that.
Awesome. And while Tice is kind of taking his turns here, I actually learned a little bit before the show that you're very outspoken about females and gaming and like in the gaming world, that kind of stuff. For all the females out there that are watching that may be hesitant to get into card games, Shadowverse, Hearthstone, whatever it may be, do you have any message for them?
I mean, I think Shadowverse is a great game for girls. There's so many cute girls.
I mean, look at Eloise, right?
Yeah.
She's promoting it to crazy, yeah.
And I think you just have to try. If it's something you're interested in, just give it a go and don't let the demographics scare you. There's actually so many girls who play, and as Twitch is growing, as games are growing, there's more and more females coming to the scene, so.
Absolutely. So get out there, stream, play games.
Do it.
Let's go. Perfect. All right, let's hop into the game here. All right, so this trackball, we're seeing again come into play. Very highlight. Hands are shaking even on this track.
And it's cold up there too. Like the sock thing was nice.
Yeah, it was
because
nice.
I was like, oh.
That's what Raynad was talking about. Yeah. It's not so cold over here, but over on stage, super cold.
Yeah, on the stage, it's like blasting AC.
Okay. All right, so you actually want the socks.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I'll take the socks again.
Perfect. All right, so let's talk about the game a little bit. So at the moment, Eloise is basically just trying to set up a late game potential with Prime Dragon Keeper. Staircase to Paradise, another great card that we're going to see right here. 1 play point amulet with 7 countdown. When one of your allied followers dies, it will reduce the countdown by 1, and when it pops, it will actually search your deck for 3 followers and put them into your hand at the beginning of your turn. So really, if it pops around that turn 7 mark, you start filling up your hand with Prime Dragon Keeper and small followers, and you just start pushing that advantage.
Yeah, so she got it out pretty early, and she's got a pretty hefty board, so the countdown will go pretty fast, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely, and as we can see, Tice not really getting all the cards he needs early, getting his first Rhinoceros by turn 5. And we can see that from the Goblin Mage that got made off of Fina. So basically setting up, but still a little ways away. Doesn't have any bounce spells, doesn't have any cheap cards to play before the Roach. So still kind of playing the waiting game here.
Yeah, this kind of combo deck is a little bit rougher when you don't have the pieces you need, because all your cards are a little dead.
Right.
You're like, oh, I have all these cards that do nothing right now.
Right.
I actually can't play anything.
They do a little bit of something and sometimes a little bit of nothing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And now, that being said, Rhinoceros can get in for a little poke damage here and there with Ancient Elf. Ancient Elf being one of the more potent forest cards. 3 play point 2, 3 with ward. Whenever you play it, will bounce all of your other followers back to your hand and get +1/+1 for each done so.
So really, really, really strong.
Yes. Very strong. You can play a bunch of cards plus Rhinoceros, attack, and then finish off your turn with Ancient Elf to play a little defensively after poking. Very potent tool.
So does Eloise's deck have a lot of taunts? Can she kind of stop that from happening?
So Eloise's deck does not have any taunts.
Oh.
It's a more aggressive deck. It's literally just trying to pop those staircases, as well as playing the late game Prime Dragon Keepers and also followers with Storm. Like we see Hippogriff Rider in hand. If Tice can't actually manage to clear off this board, Hippogriff Rider is a 5 play point 2/4 with Storm that will get +1 power for each other follower that attack this turn. So definitely able to push the damage.
So it will be the death of him if
yes.
you can't do it.
Exactly. Still at 18 though, still a little healthy. Been doing a good job of clearing the board. Has Kibler's help. To be honest, if I had anybody as help right now, Kibler feels pretty good. You know, his team's down, but that doesn't mean his mind isn't as sharp as ever.
No, definitely. I mean, Tice and Kibler are 2 of the card game greats. I mean, especially Kibler, right?
Right.
I don't know how many years of card games he's played. I think 20 or something?
Probably, at least. Yeah, at least. All right, so let's see what Tice decides to do here. Does have a lot of options. So Wood of Brambles being another card in hand we haven't really seen much of. It's a 2 play point amulet. When it comes into play, will fill your hand with 2 fairies. But it also gives all of the followers you haven't played Clash deal a damage to the opposing followers.
Right, we saw it in the other game.
Board. Yeah, exactly.
I'm a force
really powerful.
Interesting. I like this. Goes really defensive, decides to clear off as much of the board as possible. This actually doesn't activate Staircase until next turn, so it gives them a little bit of a breathing room. All right, and again, just to let you guys know, Reynad's team, Team B, your team,
Yep.
4-0 at the moment.
Yeah, Reynad said before, it's like, we better win this. I just lost October Brawl. I need this win.
So this is like, he's playing it off all cool and nonchalant, but like deep down, he's like,
yeah, he wants it. You
backstage, he's like, you better win this.
I mean, we're all pretty competitive. This is definitely more of a show match and definitely for fun, but you know, we still want to win.
Of course, of course.
Everyone wants to win.
It always feels good to win. Absolutely. Okay, so aggressive play. What do you think Eloise can do here to kind of turn the match in her favor, try to start pushing that damage that she needs to?
I can't see the last card. What is
That's
that?
the Hippogriff Rider. That's the 2/4 with Storm I was telling you about. That
Oh,
can get bigger
okay,
when
okay.
other things attack, yeah.
I mean, I think she just needs to try to find a way to build a board again. She had something good going, and Tice just kind of shut it down right away.
Is a state of mind.
So Siegfried, awesome. Don't you need to use an Evo point for that? We'll kill something that already has damage on it. Very effective play.
Yeah, really, really strong.
Yeah. All right, so now we're actually getting a little bit closer here. So Tice has drawn another Goblin Mage, which will fetch another Rhinoceroach, but again, no bounce spell in hand to kind of make use out of like those super combo Roach turns that you're looking for with a Nature's Guidance or an Airbound Barrage.
Yeah, pretty lucky once again for our team that he just doesn't have the pieces in hand.
That's right. Can use the Evolution Orb here to sort of clear out the ward. We'll need to clear that out eventually anyway so that he can combo. We'll see what he decides to do here. He's got a lot of options. Could play Wood of Brambles, could play that Ancient Elf.
Sparkly stuff. Gimme!
Oh, he gets the Rhinoceroach again.
The way the deck's designed is the only thing that costs 2 or less in the deck as far as followers are concerned is the Roach. So every time you get a Fina that will pop a Goblin Mage or a Goblin Mage itself, you get the Roach in hand immediately.
So he's going to get all of them now.
Yes. So this will get his 3rd Roach and set him up definitely for the end game. But here we get to see Staircase pop off. Does get the Prime Dragon Keeper. So here we get to see the Dragon deck pump into full gear. Pretty sure Eloise
too late
knows.
though.
Huh?
Yeah, it's a little too late though.
Maybe. Maybe. Eloise is still sitting at 20. Very healthy life total. Doesn't really have to fight through much here. Just a single 5/5 ward. And like I said, there's no bounce spell quite yet for the Roaches. After getting 3 Roaches in hand, you'll be able to push a lot of damage without the bounce. But still, you need to play the Goblin Mage to set up the 3rd Roach.
Care to touch? Life's fate is that.
Here we see Eloise make full value use out of that Prime Dragon Keeper. If you're playing Dragon in the new set in Starforged Legends and you don't have Prime Dragon Keeper in your deck,
it won't be long now.
Get it in. Yeah.
Definitely get it. One thing that Shadowverse does really well is they offer a lot of packs for new players. It's very accessible, it seems.
Absolutely. When you first sign up, you actually get 50 free packs. Every time a new set comes out, you get 10 free packs. They like to keep you interested in the game. They like to keep you going with it. Absolutely.
And there's daily logins, and they kind of like get, like you get more and more as you chain log in every day.
That's right, yeah. Absolutely. And as a matter of fact, it's 60 packs, not 50 packs. Ton of packs. As well as, like you said, daily rewards and monthly rewards.
Yeah.
Rewards, 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 packs all the time. Play it if you like it. They're very generous. All right, so here we see Tice grabbing that 3rd Roach. Again, there's only 5 spaces allowed in play, so we'll have to kind of work around his amulets to get the full amount of damage he wants to get in. But, like you said, but flip the script, I don't think he has any more time right now. I think Eloise is in full control of this game.
Yeah, she was able to rebuild that board with the proc of the
Staircase. Paradise. That's exactly how this deck functions. The Staircase to Paradise, another one of the great cards from Starforged Legends, allows you to essentially play the value game of, I have a board, even if you kill it, now I get to refill my hand.
Right.
Very solid card. Forcing Tice to play defensively here with one of his Roaches never feels good.
No, it never feels good to use one of your pieces like that.
All right, so let's take a look at the damage here. We've got 4, 6 with an Evo, and with that Hippogriff Rider, we're looking at 9 damage. So not quite lethal, but with the Prime Dragon Keeper play to deal that 1 extra damage. Eloise knows what she's doing.
Yeah, she does.
Time to say goodbye.
Looks like Reynad and Eloise having a good old time.
Yeah.
Another win on the board.
That's the most I've seen Reynad smile in a while.
All right, everybody get it up for Eloise taking that win. How are you feeling? Team's up 5-0 now.
Yeah, I think the pressure's off. I'm really glad I got my 2 matches out of the way.
Absolutely.
Got the 2 wins, you know. Would feel bad for Reynad if he's the one who drops 1.
That's true. That's true. So we're going to get into our final match. We've got Justin Wong versus your team captain, Reynad. You still feeling confident in Reynad?
I feel like Reynad's definitely got it. I mean, Justin has Tice and Kibler to back him up. So he's got some great help behind him.
We're going to need, I want to see some real disadvantage this. Like, this is the turn, this is the game, you know what I mean? Where I want to see the wheel spin really matter. I want to see people getting mad. I want to see people getting frustrated and not able to play their turns.
What do you think is the worst torture of them all?
I think, realistically, the carrot was super nice to Eloise. As was said before, I think Justin Wong knows that the carrot fell in love with Eloise a little bit. I think if the carrot really gets menacing and mean the way it's supposed to, you know, the way it really feels inside, I feel like it could be the biggest menace to the player's turn.
I think maybe if Jay Wong gets the carrot, he'll get a taste since he kind of, you know, called him out that he was too nice.
Absolutely.
So,
all right, let's see how
let's
see how it goes. Let's kick it back to the stage. Jump, tell us what's going on.
That's right. We do have Team A coming out with the 5-0 thus far. So we're going to go ahead and bring out our winner. She finally gets to put on her first sunglasses because you didn't take a point of damage. Was that the strategy? Just don't take any damage, then you don't have to worry about putting on sunglasses.
I just want to look swagger. Yes.
It definitely adds to the character, the hair, everything else. But you should have grabbed the pink ones. You had to match it all the way through.
Can you say it again?
The pink sunglasses. There are pink ones back there. So we'll have to grab you some pink ones for that. Now, your team is 5-0, and you have Reynad coming up for the final match. Do you think that he's going to be able to take down Jay Wong to make it a clean 6-0 sweep?
Reynad literally carried me last match. Yeah, so I'm very sure he can do this.
Well, congratulations to you. We'll let you take a step back because we are going to introduce our final match. It is Jay Wong taking on Reynad. And so we're going to bring out that carrot himself one last time to flip that wheel and hopefully see what we can get for Jay Wong. So we're going to bring out the carrot. We're going to go ahead and bring out Jay Wong as well and see what he is going to have. There he is. All right, carrot, let's get it. And it is the, I guess you have the carrot. The carrot it is, so Jay Wong gets the carrot, and he's gonna get to mess with him and do anything and everything that he wants to help disrupt his play, which is gonna be a tall task because you do have the side over here being 5-0. So let's go ahead and bring out Reynad and see if we can do that carrot one more time. So it looks like he's a little preoccupied. So we'll go ahead and, oh, he's back. He's back. Flip it one more time. Last one of the night. Mouse massage. So you're going to have to put a mouse pad on your teammate's body and use that as your mouse pad for the week. Go ahead and take your seat. That is going to be, it is our final match. We've got Team Reynad up 5-0. Is it gonna be a clean sweep? Let's kick it back over to Tice and EXO for the final match of the day.
Hi, Tice, welcome to the booth here. All right, so you guys are down 5-0, and you got the worst disadvantage yet again. How are you feeling about this wheel right now?
Well, it didn't maybe go how we wanted to, but we are having a lot of fun too. And the matches were actually more closer than I feel the score was, so the games were really interesting, and I think we can now gonna get our point on the board.
Perfect, perfect. So Justin Wong gonna take out Reynad. That's your prediction?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Perfect. So the decks they're actually playing are mid shadow. Justin Wong said this is where his comfort zone's at. This is what he likes to play. Reynad playing a very crazy combo deck that I'm sure he's never seen before, but we'll see.
Okay,
see how that plays out. Absolutely. So, all right, in this final matchup, you guys need to take this win.
Yeah,
okay.
And we have a plan. I'm happy that he's now playing his more comfortable deck too. And well, the challenge we also had a pretty tough challenge with the mouse. Like, I had a combo deck, but it just takes 10 seconds for me to go from the one side to the other side of the board. So it was not so easy to actually manage that.
Absolutely. So far, out of all the decks, what do you think's your favorite?
I like Forestcraft in general. It's just my favorite class with the combo archetype. I've been playing quite some Bloodcraft, more mid-rangey, so I also played these two decks here and felt quite comfortable with it. But yeah, a little bit of every class I like to touch, but I'm a little bit of a combo guy.
Perfect. All right, so as we get this game set up, we didn't see the carrot really do much to Eloise, okay? And we kind of think that the carrot favored Eloise. Do you really think it's going to be a problem here for Justin Wong, or do you think he's going to be able to fight through it?
He already has had some challenges and faced some air here and there, and the carrot will be definitely not so friendly to him.
Perfect. And again, another reason why this is a comfort pick for Justin Wong, gets to play with Karen, his favorite fighting game character. So settling in quite nicely. Okay, so let's talk about the decks real quick so you can get a handle on them as well. So what Justin Wong decks is supposed to do here is go to the late game, kind of draw it into this tempo-oriented, I'm just going to crush you with Storm Followers after controlling the early game. What Reynad's deck is supposed to do is play that Lord Atomy, which he has in hand. This might actually spell doom immediately for Justin Wong, unfortunately.
He starting end.
You do.
Yeah.
Exactly. So what happens is if you have 4 cards in play, if you sacrifice all 4 of them, you get to play the Atomy essentially out of your hand. And the cards that die, such as Staircase we saw, give you advantage when they die. So the faster you can get that Atomy out, you have this 8/8 that can't be dealt with, and you're getting advantage from everything that dies.
All right. That's pretty good.
All right, and Justin Wong not starting off with a bad curve here. Has a Beast Call Aria for turn 2 to get his Amulet pump out started. He's got a Blackened Scripture for what seems would be good against Shadow, to deny them shadows and kill early game followers here.
Well, get it going. So yeah, it's good to have like something on the early to already have it there then on the board.
Absolutely. And most of the cards in Shadow not only just give you shadows, but they actually give you extra advantage, such as what we see in hand with the Spartoy Soldier, a 1/4 that when it dies, it gives you 2 extra shadows. There's a card in the deck called Andrialphus, which is a 1/2 when it dies, you draw a card. There's a 1/1 that when it dies, you get 2 1/1s. So being able to banish those things denies everything about the card's effect.
So many options though for to also go with Shadowcraft. Like I feel there's so much flexibility in what you can play there and which cards it's
combo, mid-range, aggro. It literally does the whole thing. It's got value cards all the way up and down the curve. And we see here the true build-up. Now, what Justin's going to have to do is try to keep this board away from 4 cards.
Yeah,
so that
it's going to be hard.
Played. Right. Especially
you
going
see the carrot.
Turn.
The carrot keeps. He's like not there, like not touching, but he's like putting everything even in his face.
He's got
so
the
he cannot even look.
In his face. Uh-oh, Justin Wong having some words with the carrot here. He's got a smile on his face, but I don't think he's very happy right now.
He tries to be friendly, so that the carrot hopefully is a little bit friendly to him too, and it's not gonna distract him too much. But I think the carrot is smart enough to dodge that move from him.
Absolutely. Okay, it looks like Reynad's gonna pull the trigger. A great choice here, popping 2 Staircases, which he's gonna draw 7 cards next turn.
It's so early. It's also so early that already is happening.
It is. And because Justin Wong chose to play his Tribunal last turn, doesn't have the Tribunal this turn for the Atomy. So might have to expend a lot of resources to finish off this Atomy here. Oh my god, the carrot is going absolutely crazy right now. Heading in his face.
Yeah, right into the face. He tries to that he doesn't like. He tries that there is nothing going on, but you can see it to him.
Absolutely insane. This feels good, right? Like you just sacrificed everything you had, but now you have a full hand again. You have an 8/8 in play. Justin Wong decided it wasn't scary enough to deal with. He's like, just run into my ward instead.
At least there now is a 5/6 ward. I really like the mechanic of like Clash, where it works so defensively and it works on the board and on the opponent's turn.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like the Cleric Lancer is actually a card that's been around for a long time, but nobody really played it anymore until the new set came out. And there's a new card that came out called Aether of the White Wing for Haven. It's a 6 play point 1/3. And when you play it, it will take, essentially, if you're on 6 play points, it will go down to 5 and find a 5-cost Haven follower and put it directly into play.
Okay, yes.
Amazing to put a 5/6
yeah,
ward
that works
into play.
great. That's good synergy.
Absolutely. So Reynad really thinking about this turn. I mean, he just got a ton of options.
Yeah,
so.
well, I mean, and also all the cards just came into his hand from. So you gotta get a good vision on your hand again. Oh, is he taking?
I can't handle this character.
I feel you guys already made us like getting us scared before we even had the match here with the carrot, because we see the carrots everywhere. Even if you go to the toilet, you just can't touch the carrot. It's even with posters there.
That's right. That's right. Everywhere. Take a bathroom break, carrots there. Go on stage, carrots there. Can't get away. All right, so actually Ops basically feels like he can't get through that ward.
Yeah.
Puts the damage on the Atomy, which is going to make Justin Wong's life just that much easier.
Great synergy, getting some extra shadows drawing 2 cards.
That's right. Using the Evo point on the Lurching Corpse and sacrificing it. Maybe trying to send Justin Wong a little bit of a signal like, hey, why don't you come back a little bit? Let's go. Let's have a little bit of a game here.
So what would they feel as like the advantage now? Like, what is the future for the Shadow craft here?
Yeah, so honestly, Haven's in a really good spot. Now that the Atomy's been dealt with, there isn't any follow-up. He's got Moonal Mirage in hand, which is a Storm follower. He's got Taurus the Great, which is a Storm follower. So now he can actually just start pushing the advantage, especially because he's got that Tribunal popping next turn. So he doesn't even have to expend anything to kill the next follower that Reynad plays.
There was even an overdraw there for Reynad, just because he had a full hand. Couldn't get all the cards anymore.
That's right. I'm going to say his disadvantage is weighing on him here. I think his last turn, maybe a little misstep, but coming back in full force this turn, trying to set up a board. Actually, 2 good followers that you don't really care that they die to Tribunal. You either get 2 shadows, you get 2 followers, you're not feeling too bad about this. And honestly, even if Justin Wong doesn't want to be aggressive here, he has the Themis' Decree on command to wipe the entire board if he ever feels like it's getting too messy. Have you seen Taurus the Great yet? Have you seen this card?
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it. Or like, but is it really like? Is it also in the meta now? Are people playing?
It is. I actually built this deck. This is one of my favorite decks to play right now. And Taurus the Great is a great option because normally you'd play Aegis, right? It's a really heavy costed follower in 9, but it just gives you inevitability. With a lot of the aggressive strategies that are in the metagame right now in current Shadowverse, they're too fast for you to be able to play Aegis.
Okay.
So Taurus just is able to come out earlier, and with Aether of the White Wing, you actually get that out earlier as well. So you can play Taurus, play Aether, get another Taurus in play, and just keep pushing for face damage. So here we see Justin Wong finally taking advantage of that Storm and pushing a little bit of face damage, saying, hey, Reynad, come at me.
Yeah, and I mean, already at 11, so it's now getting, still having an evolution point left, but is sometimes also really helpful.
Right, here we get to see a little Soul Squash using that Necromancy advantage there.
I like that mechanic a lot, where you just, you sacrifice your own creatures a little bit here and there, but for that you get that advantage of making stronger plays.
And again, like you said, very flexible. There's a full range of cards in Shadow that you can play that have Necromancy effects. It just depends on what you want to do with them.
I am Feminist the Shining.
Here we see Reynad putting a board together.
Okay, there's another one even.
Justin Wong's like, all right, offense time. Could have chosen the Themis.
Yeah, it's so... Oh, wow, that's so amazing.
That is a noise. That is a noise. That is the sound of Taurus hitting you right in the face. And honestly, if Reynad can't find his way out of this turn, that second Taurus.
The carrot is even going a step farther now. Like, I don't even know if people even see the screen anymore because it was really in front of it.
Food should act like food.
All right, so Reynad dealing with the Taurus in play. Doesn't have a ward though.
No wards. And we see another Taurus in the hand here.
So this is kind of what I was talking about. If that was Aegis, you would just play it and then another turn would pass.
Yeah, it's super slow. It's actually way slower. And it is kind of, it's not a really aggressive deck, but more, it still has quite some tempo in it.
Exactly.
And that's the great thing about mid-range decks. Like, mid-range is not aggressive, it's not slow, but it just adapts to your opponent. Against a slow opponent, you are aggressive. against an aggressive guy, you are the defense.
Exactly, exactly. It's one of Haven's things. It can play tempo, it can play defense, it can play offense.
It became like lately. It became more tempo based. It was always super control, and now it became more tempo based.
There we go. Team A.
Yes.
Justin Wong finally given a victory for the team. Let's go. Give it up.
I'm happy. I'm happy.
Good. You guys got on the board. You guys didn't get disgraced out of the show match. Very happy about that. How you feel?
And him with his Heaven Crab deck, so like just getting it going. It's great to see.
Exactly. And you got to see it exactly how it's supposed to play out. Maybe a little aggressive in the early game, a little defensive in the mid game, and then push right back to the aggressive in the end game. All right, Tice. Full day has gone by here with playing tons of Shadowverse. Did you enjoy yourself? What were your favorite moments?
My favorite moments, I think the sabotages. Even just having just some fun and seeing what everybody has to do, playing with socks, playing with a mouse, and having the carrot all around. And yeah, just a great time playing against a lot of people we already knew, and it's just great to play games. We just love playing card games. So
perfect, perfect. So Shadowverse, for your viewers out there, anybody that are watching that, you know, for you, what would you have to say to them about Shadowverse, how they can connect their Hearthstone mechanics into Shadowverse, anything like that?
In the way of showing mainly, or?
Yeah, I just mean in general, like what can they bring with them from Hearthstone into Shadowverse and maybe help them understand the game, enjoy the game better, that kind of stuff?
Yeah, like the card games in general have some really similar mechanics, so it's really easy to adapt to another game. I think a lot of people that are good in Hearthstone can also be really good in Shadowverse. And I feel if you, the great thing about Shadowverse is a little bit with evolution. That's a mechanic you have to get a little bit used to. But it definitely is. It's so mid-game based. That's what I really like about Shadowverse. It's really based in the mid-game where you can. The first 2 turns don't always matter, but don't matter too much. And then in the mid-game, it really starts to become powerful. So that concept is really good. It's really cool.
Perfect. Well, great advice, straight from the mouth of one of the best Hearthstone players on the planet in Tice. All right, guys. Team A, 1 win. Team B, 5 wins. Great day. We're going to kick it back to the stage with Bill, see what he's got left for us.
That's right. It was that 5-1 victory. Jaewong finally, helping himself out in that. And we're going to now invite both of the teams back onto the stage because we're going to get that final interview with the captains, both Kibler as well as Reynad, to really see their final thoughts. So let's bring them out on stage. There they are. All right, you did. You did. We did get 1 win. There is 1 win there. So we'll kick it to you. How did it feel to finally get yourself 1 win out of the 6?
I mean, it felt good. We were sitting there. We're like, we gotta get a single win, down 0-5, and Jaewong dug deep and got it done.
Now you weren't actually the one playing, but you were definitely there in the environment of the Ultimate Carrot, kind of trying to distract. Was it as distracting as you as it might have been for him?
Well, the little carrot, I don't even know, dangly things brushing against me was probably the most obnoxious part of the whole thing. It was, I don't know, he hears me. I'm gonna stop talking about it.
So, something of the sort. Now, for you guys, you guys had it all the way through, but it ended up, of course, had to be you to be the one to lose in the final match. What was that one like?
I mean, I like to think of myself as a philanthropist, and sometimes we just give them one away. Make it a little closer for the fans.
Just a little bit of something, indeed. So, with that, we are going to have the 5-1 victory. Reynad taking it 5-1 over Kibler, and that's going to do it for us here for the Shadowverse segment. Do not forget, you can kick on over to various media outlets to be able to pick up Shadowverse. Don't forget, you can also complete the tutorial for over 60 free packs and have that opportunity to really get into the game and figure out what it's all about. My name has been Bill Jump Carter, of always your resident Sherpa to help guide you. There is a lot more action on the esports stage. We're going to throw up the H1Z1 All-Stars Invitational right after this. And then later today, I know it's the moment a lot of people have been waiting for. It's that Omen by HP Battlegrounds Invitational. We're going to kick to that very shortly. But for now, we're going to take a break. Signing off.
Rays of light scour the cosmos in search of her grand beauty. She leads these heroes to peril and calamity, trapped in the jaws of fate. Another flickers in captivity, imploring you to grasp the light of the heavens. and enter the fabric of legend.